Hi there, Phil Dreshfield, and yes, indeed, this is Supervisory Management Lecture number 2. Comes right out of Chapter 2, Selecting and Recruiting the Proper Employee. Well, what it boils down to is, how do you find the right employees to begin with? Well, in the hospitality industry, it's not as easy as it may seem. It starts primarily with a job description. You need to understand what are you looking for before you hire somebody. A restaurateur just doesn't put an ad in the paper and says, wanted people to work for me. They're very specific. Let's say you are opening up a new family style restaurant and you're looking for servers in the front of the house. Well, it starts with a job description. Okay? And a job description might list tasks and activities as well as job duties and requirements. And those are all different. Duties and activities might include, if you're a server in the front of the house of a restaurant, might include a description of tasks and duties such as will be responsible for front of the house table setup and breakdown before lunch and after lunch every day, as opposed to job requirements, which may include such phrases as, experience with customer service, must be 21 years of age because we're handling alcoholic beverages. Other types of job requirements might be able to lift 50 pounds, able to stand on your feet for more than 6 hours, etc., etc. But in a good job description, you really should also have a description of the management structure and, if at all possible, a description of the corporate culture, which we talked about last time. When you are looking to hire somebody, it actually starts with an analysis of what your staffing needs are, which may include forecasting. Perhaps from experience that right before Valentine's Day, you need to hire some extra front of the house servers because you've been dead since pretty much since the January 1st, and this is the first big push of the restaurant. So forecasting helps. You know you're going to be busy, so you are certainly available to hire additional people because you have forecasted additional sales. Okay? Other staffing needs they're driven by seasonal work. If you are in South Beach in Miami, Florida, pretty much you know when your high points are, when your low points are. The vacation crowd dies down during hurricane season, picks up during spring break. So again, that's because you understand that some businesses are seasonal. In certain towns like Branson, Missouri, literally the hospitality management staff only works for 6 or 7 months out of the year because there's really very few attractions and shows that are open all 12 months out of the year in Branson, which is a seasonal resort. Okay? One of the other things you need to understand about staffing needs is turnover rate. Okay? If you have a good management team in place, you should at least be able to attempt to reduce your turnover rate. Turnover means people that naturally leave your establishment for one reason or another. In the restaurant business, and I'm sure here locally in Rogers, Bentonville, and Northwest Arkansas, what you find is the most talented group of individuals in the hospitality industry will migrate from one operation to the next, basically to see where they can find their best placement or make their best money. So if you are, for example, you're a server, you're a front of the house server, and you're currently working at Red Lobster, and you know that on an average night after working an 8-hour shift on any given night at Red Lobster, as a server you're going to take home about $100, $120. Well, what if I told you there was a restaurant in town where for an 8-hour shift. For that matter, a 4-hour shift, the servers were taking home 175 to 250 a night. Wouldn't you want to go there? Of course you would. So would everybody else. So as word gets around, people leave you naturally to go somewhere else. You can't keep your best employees with you forever as much as you'd like to. So you have to keep an eye on what your staffing needs are through forecasting, your seasonal operations, and keep an eye on your turnover rate. The higher the turnover rate, the more it signals you have a problem in the front of the house or the back of the house. Okay, so what do you do next? You screen you screen your candidates. You've put an ad in the paper, you've offered a job description up there, and now you have several candidates come in. Well, you can do expensive things like background checks or ask for drug screenings, but the easiest, most inexpensive way to look at screening a candidate is to call their references. Check their references. It's just that easy. When you check their references, you'll find out right away whether somebody is, shall we say, exaggerating the truth ever so slightly. You'll find that. You'll find that happens. I knew a chef in the Springfield Branson market who was, he claimed he was a CIA assassin, until you tried to call Langley, and just find out that the numbers he gave were incorrect, and the fact that he didn't go to a pastry school in Paris, and, one thing after another. He tells a great story, but, all you have to do is check the references. Easy way to find out, good way to screen. All right, finally, you make an offer. You find somebody you like, you check their references, perhaps you've done a background check, perhaps you've done a drug screen, you're happy with them, you make them an offer. Okay? Remember this, a job offer is a contract. Okay? And that is something that is legally binding. You can't make a job offer today and tomorrow say, oh, I changed my mind. It's a legally binding contract. So before you make a job offer, make sure you have a proper description, you understand what the needs are with the duties, the requirements, what your staffing needs are, if it's hospitality, front of the house, back of the house, how you screen your candidates, and finally, please remember when you make a job offer, it is a legally binding contract. All right, we'll catch up with you soon.